Switch it up. Got to, right?
Coach, I know obviously you guys on the Temple as a staff, and when you kind of look back at the Houston game, what did you see from your unit, and what kind of happened out there?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One, you give credit to those guys, and they got some pretty good players in the quarterback and receivers, and I think they're really a lot better up front than they were a year ago. And I think that was the difference between last year and this year. And then the big plays, obviously gave some explosive plays. I think about 200, half of their passing yards came from passes that were 20 yards plus down the field. So we got to do a better job of just getting to the quarterback and do a better job of, guarding those receivers out tighter out wide. So those are the big keys, big takeaways. And then again, third down is kind of haunted us all year and kind of did last week as well. I mean, we had a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, and a 3rd and 12 or so that led to three scores. You take those three away and take 21 points away, and then you feel a lot better about it. But we didn't, and that's the end of the day. We got to do a better job. So.
Coach, this team's shown the ability to compete against anybody on the schedule.
Yeah.
Last week, somewhat of an anomaly. How much of that was mental? And if it was a big part of mental, what do you do to kind of change that?
Yeah, I think the big focus for us has to be each and every week. It has to be this week. It has to be Temple, and it has to be going 1-0 this week versus Temple. It can't be what happened last week. Last week it couldn't have been what happened against Cincinnati. And I think in all of our minds, and sometimes our young men's minds, they focus on maybe the end of the season and where you want to be and the final outcome and the conference race. And, I think the loss to Cincinnati, they kind of realized, hey, that may put them out of that situation. And I think we got to do a better job as coaches to say focusing on, and I got to do a better job of focusing on, hey, Houston, Temple, don't worry about the final outcome. Don't worry about the big picture, all that type of stuff. Just take on what's in front of you. And that's really, and I tell our guys, that's about life, each and every day. We can't worry about, hey, the end of the month or the final project. We got to worry about going to work each and every day and taking care of business that day. And I think that's where we got to be, and we got to fine-tune that and do a better job of that. And so this week, just kind of focusing back on Temple, doing the little things, trying to do the little things better than everybody else. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, we knew exactly what we're supposed to be doing, but we got to do a better job at doing all the little things right. And those little things add up to the big things. How we do anything is how we do everything. So that's been the big focus.
Coach, it's not like y'all just kind of played the same coverage the whole game. It's just, did pretty much threw everything out and they kind of answered for it. Is that what makes it frustrating at times? Is they're just having an answer for everything?
Yeah, I mean, you knew where Dale was, rolled the coverage to him, played zone with him, doubled him, played man on him, brought pressure, dropped 8, try to change it up on the quarterback as many times as possible. And, and I think it comes down to, some things were really good, and then some things we just got to do a better job executing overall. So, at the end of the day, Dale's a pretty good player, Toon's a pretty good player, and we got to do a better job executing. And it's on me to make sure we do that.
What have you seen from Temple and their quarterback? Obviously, getting better throughout the
He's a freshman, so he's a really good freshman and does a really good job operating it, and obviously probably had a really good mentor growing up. And I think they could do a good job just controlling the offense for him. They're not asking him to sit back there and, read full field coverages and throw the ball down the field, and he's getting the ball out of his hand pretty quick, so they're helping him manage the game and taking care of him. I think, if you PFF it, all the throws are out 1.9 seconds or less for the most part. There's a few others that are in there a little bit longer. So you got to pick and choose your times you're going to pressure him, because sometimes you may pressure him, just not get to him. He may have the ball out of his hand pretty quick. And their screen game is really good. I think they do a nice job of, they're a pro-style offense with a controlled passing game, a really good running game, and they're going to run the screens to kind of slow your pass rush down. They're going to get the ball out of his hand quick. They're going to move the pocket when they want to throw the ball down the field. And tailback's obviously a guy that can break tackles, good-sized tailback. I think he went for 265 against South Florida, 335 all-purpose and 3 touchdowns. So he had a big day that day. And then they turn around against Houston, they throw for 500, and the quarterback had a big day. And it wasn't really anything down the field. It was just bits and pieces and just kind of eat the clock up, move the ball down the field, and that's kind of who they want to be. And they've done a good job of that.
We haven't seen as much pre-Washington lately. Is he battling injury or something?
He's getting back. He was a little banged up, but he's back and getting there where he's a kid who plays a lot of confidence and a lot of swagger, and he's an older kid, and he went through some injuries, battles there, and he's getting back now to where he needs to be and feeling good about him. Just watched him break on the ball today, and he looks like he's back to full speed now.
Coach, Coach Houston said you guys really got in depth with the guys on Sunday and got feedback and talked it out and tried to get this thing back on the tracks. What was kind of their response to you?
Yeah, I think sometimes, you got to treat our guys like, hey, the why. Go back and find out the why, and everybody got to pull the thumb and just say, hey, what can we all do better? We're all frustrated. We're all frustrated, all embarrassed about it, and all upset about it. And now we got to pull the thumb and say, hey, we got to go back to square one, and hey, where we got to get back to, and get back to being us. The week before, maybe our best defensive performance of the year as far as total yards and some things we did outside of an explosive play there. But we got to get back to being who we are, and that's what we're trying to get back to this week.
With Thanksgiving coming up, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I think I'm always a dessert guy, to be honest. So I always eat light through the turkey meal and try to get to dessert, and pecan pie, however we say it down here. So I think that's my favorite.
How many do you go for then if you go light on the food?
I'll try a little bit of every dessert. I'm a sweets guy, so that's always been me. So that's why I enjoy eating. That's why I go for jogs at lunchtime. Is I enjoy eating, so I can eat whatever I want. So I would call it slow jogs. What I do is like a fast walk. So
Any other questions for Coach Harrell? All right, thanks, Coach.
appreciate you guys.